Welcome to the series on how to begin data analysis. This is Dr. Labani from Easy Biostat. In the statistical inference, we will be covering a very important aspect called standard error, which is useful for both estimation and test of hypothesis. We know that statistical methods has two arms. One is descriptive, such as mean, SD, and proportion computations, and on the other hand, statistical inference. Again, statistical inference have two arms. One is estimation in one hand and the test of hypothesis on the other hand. Now we look at role of standard error in estimation process in this present view. So if we look at the notation, mean for a population or a bigger group from which we draw a sample, which is called sample statistics, we call it as X bar, and population parameter, population mean is mu. Similarly, population proportion is small p, and sample proportion is p hat, and variance of the population is sigma square, and sample variance is s square. Sometimes we are interested in differences, mu1 minus mu2, population differences, population mean differences. Then in that case we study sample mean differences. So these are all the notation which we use in the estimation or test of hypothesis. Now in the process of estimation, in any research study, what generally or essentially we are required to do is that we have a population, a target population, for which we wanted to know the frequency of or magnitude of the characteristics, from which we draw a sample. A sample is drawn. So on a group of measurements, let us suppose if it is a quantitative measurement, you compute mean. Let us suppose the mean is 50. So for the can we estimate population mean? What we have done is sample mean. So is the sample mean is equivalent to population mean? If so, it is how? And then those are now we are going to discuss. As a knowledge test item, we ask that summary measures such as mean, proportion, and on a sample, on a small group or a sample, they are called estimates. So if you are finding out mean, mean is 50 in a sample, we call it as a point estimate of the point estimate of the larger group. Now sample, from sample we have got sample mean of 50. Now a step ahead, can I say that I'm 95% confident that my population mean mu is between 40 and 60. So that means you're telling something about your population mean, having in hand your sample mean of 50. Okay, so can we estimate this 95% confidence limits for the population mean? Confidence limits are for the population mean, provided if we consider the mean is equal to 50 as a point estimate of the population, what is the range it is likely to be? That means what we are looking for is how close my sample statistics, that means mean is equal to 50 to the population mean, which population mean is never known and we don't bother to compute it. Now we can estimate it. So population parameters mu and sigma are fixed. So they don't change for that population. Now the samples, if we take one sample, we may get X bar and standard deviation for a sample. So from sample to sample, this X bar and standard deviation of the sample is also varies. Now my question is, in order to say that when the sample mean is 50 and if the population mean has to be 40 to 60 with 95% confidence, that means I'm looking for how close my sample mean to the population mean. The 50 I have computed, how close it is. So we cannot answer this question in a particular sample. So can we find find out about the distribution that describes the variability in the random variable X bar? That means uh, for different samples, you draw from the same population, sample 1, sample 2, sample 3, sample 4, and so on. If sample 1 will have one mean and one standard deviation, and sample 2 will have another mean, and sample 3 will have some other another. So, which is called sampling distribution. Now let us look at sampling distribution. So if you have a population with mean mu and standard deviation sigma, if we draw several samples, sample 1, sample 2, sample 3, sample k. So for each sample we can have one mean. So if we, because we want yeah, the precision of our mean, how close it to the population mean, some estimate of that can be given by calculating standard deviation of all these means. If we have mean 1, mean 2, mean 3, mean 4, and so on, mean k, I use all these means only now and calculate standard deviation for all of them, which is called standard error. It's a very important aspect. That standard error will give you some precision about the sample mean which you have computed in order to state that how close my sample mean population mean. We know that normal distribution property, mean plus or minus 2 standard deviations, or mean plus or minus 1.96 standard deviation, include 95% of observations for a symmetric normal distribution. This property will be using it now to get an answer that I am confident that my population mean lies between 40 and 60 when my sample mean is 50. So that was the use of normal probability distributions, which we had covered in earlier video. Now there is another, we have made a mention that there is another closely related standard normal distribution called student state distribution, which is dependent on degrees of freedom, nothing but sample size. For different sample sizes, they have different distributions. So for smaller samples are also we can use this t distribution. So in context we can use it. In addition, we have a theorem like center limit theorem. What it states is, for large sample means that we have seen, they approaches normal distribution. It's a very the beauty of this is that when even if the the distribution that we are dealing with is not normal, if we take all means, various samples from that and calculate means, and if you draw a histogram for the such means, that would be approximately normal distribution. So in such distributions of sample means, the mean of sample mean, the mean of the sample means will be equal to the population mean, which is what we are going to use these, that mean is our sample mean is an estimate of point estimate of population mean. Now, how do you estimate standard error, standard deviation, population standard deviation? which is nothing but standard error. The population standard deviation is nothing but standard error, which by drawing several samples and calculating standard deviation, we are doing that. But that is quite cumbersome, and we can simply do it the derived, which we talk about now. So if you see here the diagram, the sample is drawn. The sample mean is 50 in one sample. Sample standard deviation is small s for one sample. When you take several samples, you have several sample means. So if you compute standard deviation of all, as we have learned in the previous slides, that standard deviation of all such means is nothing but standard error. So a directly derived formula is that standard deviation of all means nothing but standard error is nothing but standard deviation divided by square root of the sample size. This is what is the mm, uh, population standard deviation, which is equivalent to population standard. Now we know population mean, and we have no population standard deviation. Also, we can estimate with the formula sigma SD by square root of n. So this is SD of different sample means called standard error. This is computed as, this is mathematically derived to be, instead of taking several samples and calculating SD with one standard deviation, by dividing the sample square root of the sample size, we can get an estimate of the population deviation. This let us see how uh, how to compute standard error for a mean. So suppose for children of 3 to 12 years of age, mean and SD of cholesterol level is in 300 children is 130 and 25. So these are mean and SD. 130 and 25 is SD. Then standard error of the mean is as per the formula sigma divided by square root of sample size. So 25 divided by square root of 300 R, which is 1.45. So this is what the standard error, that such a precision we can make use of it to say that how close my sample mean is to the population mean. Similarly, for a proportion also, one can compute this, and the proportion formula is square root of p into 1 minus p by n. P is the proportion, and the example is, suppose in a sample of 500 atopic dermatitis patients, 140 are found to be with fatty liver. So the proportion of fatty liver among patients with atopic dermatitis is 140 by 500, which is equal to 0.28. This is the standard. Uh, so this proportion we will use it for standard error. So that this proportion is 0.28. We have substituted in the formula. We have got standard error of the proportion as 0.02. So how you use the standard error, we'll talk later on. Then use of generally the sampling distributions we talked about, a lot of uses are there. Now with the knowledge of on the parameter from the sampling distribution, we can use this distribution to determine confidence interval of the parameter, which we'll make a mention in the next few slides. Whether a sample or a population are significantly different from each other or not, which is called test of significance. So in the sampling distribution and standard error we'll be using in the test of confidence interval estimation and testing. Now we talk of use of standard error in estimation. So that is in confidence interval. Confidence interval general form is that point estimate plus or minus critical value of the distribution, like 1.96 or 2 times SD, which we are using for from normal distribution, multiplied by standard error. This is the general format for the confidence interval. So we know the properties of the, so we are making use of these property normal distribution property, especially when we want 95% confidence intervals, we are using 95% of data lie between two sigma limits. So now, this is what the normal property states, that mean minus 2SD to mean plus 2SD cover 95% of observations, or the range mean minus 1.96 times SD, both are same, 2 or 1.96. So the concept, the property concept of the normal distribution, we are using it in standard error, or we are using it in the confidence interval. So the confidence interval is, in place of SD, we replace SE. That is because that gives us precision around the mean. That means which is the confidence limits for the population mean. So mean minus 2SE to mean plus 2SE. This is called confidence interval for the population mean, or 95%. So this is the formula to be calculated, x bar plus or minus 1.96 into square root sigma of. So if we substitute for, in an example, a random sample of 80 tablets had an average potency of 15 mg. Assume that sigma is known to be 4 mg. So x bar is 15 and sigma is 4, sample size is 80. So we all know that, and 95% confidence interval, the critical limit that we use is 1.96. So if you substitute, you will get the 95% confidence interval. So generally the sigma, population sigma is not known. We replace with the sample standard deviation. So that formula becomes t distribution here, x bar plus or minus t 0.025 multiplied by, instead of sigma population, an estimate of in place of sigma, an estimate of standard deviation is sigma by square root of n. We make use of that. Now we replace that, and let us have the same example where we dealt with cholesterol level in children. We have, by substituting standard error and the mean is 130, standard error is 1.45. You had computed earlier in the previous slide. If you substitute, we will get 127 to 133. So the mean is 130, and the mean is an estimate of population mean, and in the population the cholesterol level is likely to be fall in this. So this means that there is a 95% chance that population mean of cholesterol level will be included in this interval. So that is the beauty of that. We are talking about population by taking one sample. So which is clearly different from the mean plus or minus 2 SD limits. So that is what is different from mean minus 2 SE limits and mean plus or minus 2 SD limits. This is 180 to 180. So the interpretation of this is that 95% range of observations in the sample are between 80 and 180. So this shows the clear distinction between interval of observations and confidence. Similarly, we have computed 95% confidence interval for proportion also, which is between, if the fatty liver proportion is 28%, the confidence interval is 24 to 32%. With this, I thank you. See you again. Easy Biostat.